welcome back. I'm rolling. 7:59. Shooting you out. See you choking me. I'm out good. Oh damn. 8 o'clock. Good morning. Yes, out here all drawn up. Wow. Welcome again. Welcome. Come on up. Welcome back to the attic with your queen, Ms. E. That's MZ period capital E. Okay? Now, this is where it all goes up. We all come up and lay it on down. See, cars is just doing the craziest this morning. But guess what? Shout out to Fly Walker. Oh yeah, turning them wheels. Jumpman Jordan. Now, oh shoot. See, now I'm all tired of, you know what? Maybe I could clip this to my newfound attachment here. Yeah. How does that work, y'all? Y'all can still hear me? God morning. And of course, like I said, every day is a yay day, and it is Monday. Welcome back. I pray that everybody's weekend was top-notch, was educational, was uplifting, empowering, and you jumped some loads, okay? Hey, jumping loads make everything a whole lot lighter. Ask the toilet. That was just something that just came to my head. I'm crazy like that. On a good note. All right, y'all. Friday passed. I was talking to you guys and sharing with you guys about my pastor's junior and how he was expressing and teaching on the fact of, are we leading a life that's worth following? Then I was telling you guys about the watching your conversation and who you're around, and knowing God's people through your conversation and everything like that. I'm going to come back. All right. Remember, I also said I was going to tell you the story of me and KT's. KT is the pastor of Antioch Baptist Church, which whom is also my pastor's son. So when he was at his father's church, he was the youth pastor. He was new to that new seat, and I was in and out, back and forth, and trying to get it, working on getting it, and really working hard on getting the word, on knowing the word. And I told you I have a few mentors that I adopted. A Bible mentor, Jessica. Shout out to Jessica. She's the first one. She's the only one that told me, I want you to get 20 books of the Bible. 20 passages. Memorize 20 verses. Not all at once. Because we'll overload ourselves. And write them on cards. Well, I wrote them. I chose to write them on index cards. And memorize first 20. And once you get those, then memorize another 20. Or was it 10? I think it was 20. But anyway, that put me to work. That put me to my personal growth in Christ and Lord and prayer and my Bible reading. So this particular day, I'm listening to everybody's suggestions at this time in my journey. See, it's choking me up. See what I'm saying? It's supposed to save me, but it looks like it's killing me. And now, I value my life a lot more nowadays, but right now, so it's gonna stay on. Like I said, hey. So anyway, this particular day, I was confused because I was told that you call on the Lord in any situation, in anything. You can call on the Lord at any time. And yeah, this is how it's going to go now. We're going to put you down here since it wants to. Okay, you good? You good? Shut up to you, girl. Yeah, she ain't struggling. I'm a masterpiece, but I'm still a work in progress. So, and at that point, that's where I was at, a work in progress. But I was diligent. I really wanted this, and I still do. And I worked hard on changing me. It used to be change the situation. So, going back, I was that one that you would hear, Jesus, just calling Jesus. And I was an operator, a telephone operator, with a telephone answering service for various companies. It was Jesus, and not talking to the customer, but yeah, talking to the customer. And also, if anything went down in the office area, my supervisors would say, "Why are you always calling Jesus?" I said, "Who else am I supposed to call? You?" Straight like that. That was me starting to stand firm in my truth. And I was really happy about that because I was one of those, I'm not doing that, right? Because I was brought up in an environment in my household where I was always trying to be accepted, right? So if I did this, and I thought it was right, they go, It was like a confusion. I could never make nobody happy that's not happy. I had to learn that later on in life. And nobody's never going to be pleased. When it's wintertime, oh God, it's so cold. I can't wait till the summer. Then the summer comes, oh God, it's so hot. And then the fall comes, oh God, the leaves, I'm just tired of raking. And then when springtime comes, oh my God, my sinuses. Yeah, it's so much going on. We're never happy. We're never satisfied. I'm learning to be content. So I'm content wherever I'm at. I know what the deal is. I know what's gonna happen. I know what I'm gonna go through. But anyway, this gentleman, this brother of mine, had heard me every time I was always calling Jesus, like Jesus. Like we have a conversation and something might get into my soul and my shouting out. I'm like, Jesus. So this gentleman, I love him to life, man. He's my brother like no other. We were, he said, you ever remember the story, the boy that cried wolf? I said, yeah. He said, every time I hear you talk, you always calling Jesus. You always say Jesus. I said, okay, is that wrong? And I asked that like that because he was in the same, he goes to the same church I go to. Now, mind you, we've grown since then, but I'm sharing on a conversation that me and my pastor's son had at the time on how we met on our first conversation. He said, because you keep calling Jesus and you don't have nothing to ask or say, you're gonna stop coming around. And I got scared. I was like, what? He gonna what? Yeah, I was gullible because I'm new in this world. I'm new in these Christian streets, right, at this time, and I didn't really dive into the Bible right away. And, I was getting what I was getting and trying to walk and try to be obedient and take suggestions for a change. And I was like, what? And I started to cry. I was so confused walking through the church. And hold on, y'all. Y'all know what it is out here. I used to drive the bus. So that's one of my old cronies. He should be retiring by now. But anyway, I'm so confused. I'm flustered. I'm all over the place. And oh shoot, I forgot. I ain't supposed to be in here. I forgot. My bad. I'm supposed to be on that side. My bad, y'all. My bad. Hold on, let me get my bearings together. And you know what it is. I'm out here in these streets. It ain't nothing but a thing, baby. Told y'all I'm old school. And I watch TV on my life. Oh man, is this for real? Oh God, this is, yeah, see what I'm saying? Is this for real? And I think they got that there. See, I gotta keep moving this. I bet you I won't get next. Yeah. Because when you get so used to going into a direction, that's another. Wait on for that. That's another reminder. Thank you, Lord. When you're so used to going in a certain direction, and then you gotta go a new direction. Oh shit, where's my? See, this is we're gonna leave you right here, buddy. Okay. We're gonna do it like this. How about that? There we go. When you're so used to going into another direction in one way, and then they give you another way to go because that's the preferred method. Now, you still got the old way in your shower. Okay, so now I'm frustrated. I got tears in my eyes. Because I want to do right this time. I want to do right now. I don't want to do bad no more. I want to take suggestions now. I don't want to claim to know nothing now. I don't want none of that now. So I don't want none of that no more. I want what God has for me now. So you understand where I'm going. I'm a babe in Christ, and I'm new in this field, and I just wanna do right. Okay. But now I'm being told that if I call on my Father the way I do, because I was a Jesus, and like Lord, like Jesus, or Lord Jesus, in any event, I was calling on my Father at any given moment, at any given time. Okay, because mind you, I wasn't calling on him before. All right, I was not calling on him before. I was just having experiences. So I'm walking through the church, and I'm just. My face was like that of a child that thought they was doing right, doing what the parent wanted, right, and still wind up being told you're not, and you're like, what you said? So I see my pastor's son walking through, and I said, "Hey, Mr. KT." He said, "Nah, just KT. Nah, he cool. He cool as a fan, baby. You know what I mean? He cool as a fan." And, he said, "No, just KT." All right, Mr. KT. He said, "No, KT." I said, "All right. I have a question." He was like, "What's up?" I said, I was just told that I shouldn't call. I said, is it true that I shouldn't call on the Lord unless I need him? Because it's like the boy that cried wolf or something, you know? Because again, I'm taking suggestions, but now I know that I was God-led to a godly counsel. Now I know this. But then I'm glad I did get led to Pastor KT. And he looked at me and he looked at the defeat. I was distraught. I was confused. I just need guidance. I will listen to you and I won't even. So I said, is it true that if I call on the Lord for just keep calling his name, that he won't come? If I don't have nothing to talk about or say or ask? I said, the brother expressed this to me out of care and concern or whatever. And he just looked and said, where does he say that in the Bible? Have you ever heard that? That's not in the Bible, sis. He said, that's not in the Bible, sister. The Bible that I read and that you read, had it ever said not to call on the Lord unless you want something? I was like, nah. He said, the next time someone comes to you, anybody comes to you and try to tell you anything involving the Lord, you ask them to show it to you in the Bible. You know, that was the biggest weight lifted off of me. The little lump in I was getting it again because I was having a flashback Monday. And I looked, I said, it don't. That's when I started to learn also. I heard it, but now because I want this change, I'm doing it, right? Don't even listen to what pastors say that they read it. You follow it. You read it with them, or you go and research it yourself. Yep, that's it. He said that. He did that. He did. Yeah, so I've been doing that ever since, because I even called out a pastor, probably somebody y'all all know. He was he's in the public eye, and I happened to hear him. I was listening. I was really listening, and because I'm led into a lot of areas, and I'm still wondering. I said, God, did you lead me to this pastor so I can hear him say this and me realize that he didn't speak word. He changed up everything, and I shut that joint down, because the word says don't add or take away from my word. Research, read, follow up with them, then you'll see. Don't just go on. That's life, period. Don't go on where just anybody tell you. Research it. And if the person is telling you about themselves, research it, meaning watch their moves. Watch how they move it. Thank you, Lord. Now, that's how I met and started, conversing with KT. Yeah, that was that. But he's a pastor now at Antioch Baptist Church in Hampton. Go try him out. Go see him out. I guarantee you'll get something. I'm telling you. All right. So now moving on with what he was talking about as far as my sheep knows my voice, and you will also know God's people. And I'm telling you about the water boy, but we're going to move on from that. I'm going to talk about this weekend also with recognizing the actions of people when you walking in the light. Because I walk in the light, and I didn't realize I was doing that, and I didn't realize that that's what was happening. I was just like in this partition between darkness and light. A long time, back in those days, back in the day. And I go, oh wow, back in the day. Yeah, back in the day. Not so long ago. And when I notice, have you ever heard where where Jesus says the demons get ruffled, when your light shines, the demons get ruffled, the demons flee. Okay, well, I experienced this because I pay attention now, and I'm not trying. It ain't no deep nothing. It's just, and it could just be people don't want to be around you, or people don't, like what you bringing, or they're not there. They don't read. They don't go to church. They don't have no type of anything except what is that? What they see, they always have a statement behind it on their own personal object. But not once do they ever pick up the word to see if they even on it, or they just watch people move and judge people moves. Like that kid, you go to church like we do today. Are you all in the church? But matter of fact, let me share my weekend with y'all. It was phenomenal. It was empowering. It was educational. It was feeding the 5,000. It was sincere. It was wow. I told you guys in season 1, or well, was at the beginning of season 2, because I started to tell my story in pieces, and told you, about my dad, and I told you about my mom, and me and my mom didn't have a great relationship. Well, I still love my mother. I just didn't like how she did things. I just didn't like her attitude towards life, or the line, the stuff that we do. Okay, that you love a person, but you just don't particularly agree with a lot of things that they do, but you love them, right? I went down south. I went to the Cackalack. I went to South Carolina and had the biggest barbecue because I had it. God made it so. Did seafood boils, ribs. Auntie brought into pasta salad, which was out of this world. And I got to fellowship with my mom and my daughter. Although my mother didn't come outside. She's 73 years old, and sometimes it makes me sad. It does. It makes me sad because I see women out here. I see elderly folk out here older than 73, much older than 73, living their life. I'm talking about still tripping and partying up and having a good time and loving their life and enjoying their life. And I'm looking at my mom, and she's just mentioned she's always on the bed, and she's not bedridden. She can walk around, but she's limited. See, my mother had a few strokes. She's a survivor. She's a three-time stroke survivor. She's also cancer survivor. And she survived my father, my dad, her husband. So, am I good right here? Nah, stop. I went to visit them over the weekend, and we had a ball. It was too hot for my mom to come out, so she really didn't want to come out. Once I fed her, she was like, I'm full. Once you get to learn her speech now, because now her speech is kind of deferred. It is deferred. You have to really hear her, or constantly talk with her to understand what she's saying. Okay, so now my daughter and I, we're estranged, and I say that freely because that's what it is. We are estranged. That's a history within itself involving my mom. Okay, and there's some things that happens, and I believe the enemy uses your children. I really do believe that, because our children are our children. We carry them for 10 months, and we have these major pains, and some of them last 48 hours, and some of them last 36. I was in labor with my daughter for 48 hours. I was in labor with my son for 36. And now one of them want to have a relationship with me. But that's okay for now. Because see, everything that God allows, He's going to get the victory and the glory in the end, and I know that for a fact. Because every time I turn around, there's something different between me and my baby. So at this point, I'm learning that my daughter is she's an avoider. And we talk about those uncomfortable conversations that nobody wants to have. And lo and behold, I have a friend in Shaolin that has a movement of an elephant movement. It's an elephant named Drippy. And the whole premise is always sweeping things away or acting like it ain't happened, or don't want to face the music and don't want to deal with the deformities of a relationship as so, and don't want to talk about it. And you're always the elephant in the room. All right, shout out to Drippy, shout out to Heck, shout out to Pam, me too, out there, Shaolin representing real hard for us out there. Well, the elephant was in the room in South Carolina, and we were talking about some things, and I'm like this. If your ears are so open, or real open to talk about the same situation but different people, that means, are you open to talk about that when it's concerning them? But we're in the same realm space, head space, that we need to really address this. We need to communicate. We need to reevaluate that situation that had happened and call it out for what it is. Instead of, I tried, that's my daughter, I tried, and she wants to go off. So I look at, like, my light starts shining and I start calling demons out. Not saying she's a demon, don't say that. Remember I told you, it's not the person. It's what's working in us. It's what we allow to enter our headspace, enter our ears, our mouths, our eyes, our gaze. We gotta stay armored down. The helmet, the breastplate, the gird, the shoes, the shield, the sword. We got to have all of that. I speak the word, and I was so sincere. It was crazy because usually I back out, but nah, I address that thing head on. And now people have a tendency when they don't want to deal with certain things. And because I'm talking about my baby, she made a phone call to my uncle, which is her godfather. And that's what happens. She'll run and she'll call other people to try to make the situation seem more than what it is. So when I explained to her about that night, that everything was going down, I said, baby, that wasn't you. That wasn't you. She said, what are you talking about? I said, that night. Because see, we was talking about my brother and his wife, and she was she was indulged in that. She was in that. She was really, really into that conversation. But it was dealing with the same things. The spiritual warfare. Okay. And when I incorporated our situation within that, and it was the same thing, it got really tight. Her whole demeanor changed. Now she's not boisterous anymore. She didn't have nothing to say except, excuse me, that wasn't me. I said, baby, that was not you. I said, look at it. And you know when you're trying to express to a person that doesn't have the capacity to understand right now because they're not feeding themselves the word, they're not being fed the word, they don't have a prayer life, they don't have, and I try to give that to them, but she's living in the world that I was from, and I'm trying to give it to them now, and it's never too late. And I don't believe it's too late. I believe it just has to come in portions. So I'm dropping portions. I'm dropping manna every time I'm in the midst of her. You know what? I think these places is really tearing the streets up on purpose. You know, we can't keep a car. Don't buy no new car. But then coming back, I gotta go to my pastor on this. I have to, but you know what? I don't have to go on personally, but I can. I really feel like there's going to be a word on it. A word on just what I'm talking about. And that's what I mean. God hears all of us. God hears the prayers right now. Because he hears my heart of sincerity on really wanting to mend a relationship that I believe the enemy is severed. See, the enemy doesn't want family. He doesn't want unity. He doesn't want anything outside of his realm of callousness, hate, lies, because he's an author of lies. He's an author of deception. He's an author of walking. I told y'all Friday, keep that over there. He walking to and fro. I'm over here. Let me stay over here. Leave me alone. You go ahead about your business. God, you got that. And that's what I had to say. I told my uncle. My uncle told me this. And prior to this, y'all, I was reading and I read, it was like the Lord telling me, know when to speak. It's a time to speak and it's a time to listen. It's a time and place for everything. Before you go in, ask me for wisdom on what to express. And he gave it to me. He gave it to me. Because once I recognize it, and then my uncle gets on the phone, he tells me, you know, Erica, that's how they call me, Erica. You know, Erica, some people, you can't bring stuff like that up because they're not ready to deal with it. True. You know what I do? Sometimes I go, nah, this ain't that type of conversation. You can't deal with that. I ain't going to go into that. I'm like, I hear you, I hear you. See, I accept today wisdom. Okay? But my thing is, my daughter's 30, by the way. But just because you're a certain age doesn't mean that you have the maturity to handle it. It's a lot of things that we all don't have the capacity to deal with. Okay? And I did, and what I learned was that, wow, I did believe just because she's 30 and she does have, my daughter's very smart. But see, she's book smart. She's from kindergarten to college to going abroad in Lisbon. She's like that there. But as far as, and she has a good sense of things. Only thing I pray that comes around is godly counsel, true godly counsel. Because she doesn't trust the church across the street because how do people move in the South? She doesn't. I think I heard a pastor say it's always an excuse when it's said to go to church or read the word and pray, and you always have an excuse to not do something when it comes to the Lord. And that's what it sounds like. Because when I was talking, I was letting her know. So I said, Jen, I said, baby girl, it wasn't you. What you mean it wasn't me? I said, it wasn't you. It was, you was drunk. See, that's another thing the enemy will use, a thing that you used to do that jaded something in your life, and you don't even have to do it no more. But he's still gonna find a way to bring that up to you to make you feel defeated. Don't believe the hype. Just know it when you hear it, and you speak against that thing. So now I'm over my time, but this is good. So I'm talking. I said, baby girl, you got to pay attention to what's happening here. I said, yeah, my brother was involved in something that he had no idea. The wife was this, and you was all into that conversation. Now, this is also dealing with the same thing. That night, we got it. I was sitting on the couch, baby. She said, you was drunk. And you was drunk. I said, no, I was not. I had one shot. Yes, I had a drink, but I had one shot. And I came straight here instead of going to my mother at the rehab. It was late. I wanted to check on her, but I said, no, I'll see her in the morning. I was there that whole week. That night, when I came in, I sat on the couch. And I was just, thank God, I'm sitting down because I was moving all day, back and forth, making sure my mother was good, making sure her therapy was going well, and making sure everybody was doing everything. See, these places that you bring your loved ones to, you have to be present because they won't do what they're supposed to do if they see that they don't have any family coming through. Some places may. I don't, but I've experienced that. I worked around it and I've seen it and I don't like it. But my daughter came out the room and she just started yelling. Why are you here? Get the bleep out. You're not my mother, you're a demon. This is where it got sticky for me. We don't want you here. Now, it was just me and her in the house. I looked up. I said, Janelle, I said, wait, what you said? We don't want you here. I looked around. And I got up and I said, baby, I'm your mother. You're not my mother. The only thing that could come to my mind was that passage in the Bible when we heard about the demons that was overrunning this man. And Jesus was coming up, and it recognized Jesus and said, leave us alone here. It was letting them know, what are you doing here? Why are you here? We not, this is our territory. We just want to just leave us alone. Get away. And we don't want you here. And that's when Jesus took the demons out and casted them in pigs, and the pigs ran out and drowned themselves in the ocean. That's the first thing that came to my mind. And I said no. So I had to take her down. But my brother was living there, but this is around the time, I believe, my brother, the enemy, I say this and I mean what I said. I believe the enemy used everything in his power to separate my brother's ear from me. And I'm not saying that I'm the great oracle, but I was getting biblical knowledge. I'm godly counseled, and where he's at, he had a wife that was making him get baptized and making him go to this church that turned out to be a cult. And then it turned out to be a cult, and we realized that when he stopped going, because he started to hear me, and I started to send sermons from my church to him, and he was like, every time I turn around, she's telling me to go to church, but she don't even hear the words. She don't even be in. He's telling me the actions of his wife, that she wasn't in the church. She was there, but she wasn't sitting with him. She wasn't getting the word with him. She was always claiming she was with the babies. Well, this particular night, my daughter had already called my brother and had him on the phone. And when you're hearing things, it sounds a lot. It sounds a lot more intense, even though it was. But to my brother felt as though I was still the same. I never put my hands on my daughter at all, ever. Now, but the way she may have expressed it to him, she was drunk, and she came and she beat my face. She said I beat her face in. The enemy. If you don't know, you better pay attention. Now, she handed me the phone, and I said, hello? Because I'm at the point of saying, Jadelle, I am your mother. I'm your mother. I'm your mother. I said, hello? I said, you crazy. I said, what did you do? Now, I'm talking to what's happening. My daughter's face looked at me like, My brother cut me off for 3 months behind that. Not once did anybody ask me what happened. I got locked up for that. I love my babies, man. And I know what this is, man. I'm just up here in the attic laying it on down. I need some prayer. I need some talking. I need that. That's no cap. And so now she's not talking to me. Matter of fact, she went next door to do the same thing that my mom used to do. She used to cry victim, and it really wouldn't be that bad. She just wanted to be seen and adhered to. But I get it with my mom. I get that. I get it. But my daughter went next door. And mind you, I'm thinking I did do all this stuff because I have been known to black out. But don't touch me at that time in my life, don't touch me when I'm like that, because everybody will get it. And then I have to apologize to the ones later, but y'all already know. My brother used to say that. He's like, when she get like that, because ain't everybody going to get it. But that's not who I am. That was a different life. Thank you, Jesus, for deliverance and overcoming. She went next door. Now, mind you, she done told my brother I beat her in her face. She told everybody that she threw her head out the screen and all this and all that. And they believe her. And they not even there. And I'm telling them, I don't run after nobody. I didn't do that. I didn't do none of that. Judelle is going through. So she went next door when the neighbor came to get me from jail. I said, how's my daughter doing? I was sincere, like, how was she doing? Because that's how convincing it was Like, did I do that? But I wasn't even drunk. I had one shot. I was lucid. I know. It was like, I know what I know. And I said, but did I? Because I don't know my daughter to be like that. Because it wasn't her. At the end of the day, it wasn't her. He said, she look all right. I said, what you mean there's no scar? I said, what about her face? Is everything? He was like, her face all right. Yeah, she rung the bell and she showed me her wrist. I said, wait. She did what? There's nothing, no blood, no scratches, no black eyes, no busted lips. Because see, once I come at you, you're going to have all of that. If I beat you in your face, like that thing lied that's just what would have been down. So when I got that, I said, no weapon formed against me will prosper. Not at all, not at all. A triple hedge of protection over my life as well as my family. I started going into prayer. I went into a prayer, baby. Because at that point, I knew what I knew. And when I tried to call my brother to let him know, he blocked me. Before he blocked me, he got on the phone and said, don't ever call me again, and hung up. That thing had put a wedge between me and my brother. That thing put a wedge between me and my brother so I can get out his ear. He cut me off for 3 months. My daughter went to the neighbor, showed him her wrist. That's where I grabbed her wrist and I was holding her down so she wouldn't, because she was swinging. And everywhere. I was protecting her from hurting herself and me. And thank you. Hair munchkin. And I'm not the only family that goes through this. It's just recognizing it and calling it out. So yesterday, Saturday, we had a great time because I prayed all the way down there. Prayed that everything was going to be all right. Because see, I'm not going back. I know I don't go no more unless I'm called. I don't try to invade. I don't, because the thing talked to her again and said, I don't like your spirit. I said, what spirit is that? Because I know the spirit that I walk around in. I walk around in Galatians 2:20 all day. Christ is in me. But I'm not going to keep entertaining that thing. I'm going to call it out, right? So this is what happened. Saturday we was good, great. We worked together, teamwork, make the dream work. I got the food, got the seafood there. We got everything going on. We set up, we cleaned up, we got everything right. It felt great, but for some reason there was something. Not that I wanted, anticipated it. I just stayed prayed up. I prayed watchfully. Okay? It almost sounds like I didn't trust this. But I embraced it all and was so thankful and grateful. God was in the building. God is always in the building. And you saw him. I saw him in the building over the weekend. Yeah, we're going to go over 30 today. And everybody came. We did what we did. Everything was gravy. Mommy was full. She enjoyed herself. Although she didn't come outside, but that's okay. That's okay too. We even prayed. Prayer circle. I like my prayer circles. So she still doesn't, she let me touch her because she doesn't, she gets, ooh. If I told you that the enemy, the demons, they even try to be like everybody else. They even try to fit in and not feel thrusted. They try to learn you so they can stick around the group so they can look like us, look and act like us, like they okay. But if you start talking God too much, you start to see the flinching, the uneasiness, I love my baby. I love my baby, and I know God got her. I'm not there. I don't know if I'll ever get to that point where I can get my anointing oil and rub all over her. Because I have to take baby steps. Anyway, I started saying to her, when she was talking about my brother and his wife and how that situation went down, and I'm a firm believer, if you can sit there and we can sit there and talk about what our if we can have a synopsis on other people and what you believe that this is what's happening, then let's get this. So what I noticed, her whole demeanor started changing. When you start calling the enemy out for who he is, he gets upset about that. So I stood firm, and God told me already, be encouraged, fear not. But see, God is with me, and I'm standing there, and for once I actually stood tall and firm with my daughter, and whatever was surrounding us, I was like, listen, to God be the glory, baby, listen. No, I tried. That's all she kept saying. I tried. I said, what are you talking about? I'm explaining to you what happened that night. Once I got it, I wanted to share it with her. But what I was doing was revealing the enemy in its ugliness. Like, that was chaos. That was confusion. I said, and baby, the devil ain't nothing but chaos and confusion. Chaos ain't nothing but confusion. I'm explaining, get away, this, look, I tried with you. You ain't changed. You always want to stick the blame on some. I'm telling you, it wasn't you. I'm like, baby, did you just hear what I said? It wasn't you. It was you, but what was coming out your mouth was not you. You called me all type of demons. You said, get the out. We don't want you. As soon as she said, I don't remember none of that. I don't remember saying none of that. That's the key. That's what gave me the confirmation to know that I know what I know. So now I'm calling that thing out. Now she's making phone calls to my uncle, to anybody that'll listen. Because my brother's dead now. She can't call her uncle, my brother. He's gone. Because I told you, he cut me off for 3 months. As soon as he decided to call me, he was dead 2 weeks later. I had so much to share with him, and I had to learn how not to hear his voice, not to be around him. So I sat there and said, was that the training for the eternal goodbye? Wow. So again, I'm sitting there and I'm listening. I said, are you hearing what you're saying, baby? She was like, I want to stay in my happy place. I'm going to stay. I said, stay there. But be open to this. Be open to what I'm trying to express to you. That night was the enemy. That we can't never open the doors for the enemy again. But then, when I spoke to my uncle, everything that he was saying to me, as far as everybody is not ready. Some people are not ready to go to deal with that or talk about it. They not there yet. And while he was talking, the only thing I could say about that was, I said, "You're right. Okay, was that? How could she understand what I'm saying if she doesn't even believe? She doesn't even." She doesn't even, it's not, I was taught, if you don't feed yourself with word, if you don't surround yourself with godly counsel, or go to church, or even try to get the fundamentals. My conversation I was having was straight foreign. So at the end of the day, I looked at her, I said, baby, listen, I'm sorry. I'm still getting used to knowing that everybody is not where you at. And I haven't arrived, no one will ever arrive. But I didn't take notice to that's not your intellectual level like that. And you can say, let's have a safe trip home. I love y'all to life. That's my time. Don't forget, heads up, chest out, and be great. And don't forget to articulate. No, God's people. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It's your girl, Miss E, and she was up in the attic today, baby, with the Truck Driver Chronicles. Holla at your girl Monday, Tuesdays, and Fridays. Holla back. See y'all tomorrow, Lord willing, and He always is. Have a blessed-filled day. That's where we at today. Hey, I gotta go ahead and get that. Oh wait, I got it. It's on here. Look, it's on. It's just that I had to get. I didn't even realize I did that. It was. I love y'all to life. Take it easy. Peace.